In the previous class, we have seen how we can create a singly linked list, right? Now, in this class, we will learn various type of operation that is possible on a linked list. So, since already you know that how to create a linked list, I'm not going to, in detail of creating a linked list every time. So, assume that you have a linked list in your hand. So that means you have some linked list of, say, of 4 nodes you have in your hand, and say this is 100, its address is 200, address of this node is 300, and address of this node is 400, suppose. So naturally the next part will contain 200, this next part will contain 300, address, this next part will contain 400, and this next part will contain null. And suppose there are some data, say 3, 7, 2, 1, 9. And since we have this address over here, valid address, that's why this first node can point to the second node. The next part of the second node can point to the third node. Next part of the third node can point to the last node. And the next part of the last node is basically pointing nowhere because it is null. So, and this is halted by what? Head, right? Now, you see, if this is a already created linked list, what are the different operation possible over here? If we have a set of numbers, the basic 2 operation is possible, that is insert and delete, right? So I have one possible, that insert, and another possible operation, that is delete. Fine. Now see, insert means insert can be anywhere. It can be between, say, second node and third node. It can be after the 4th node. Even it can be before the 1st node, right? So that means we have 3 more possibility here. That is before 1st node, second one is in the middle, and third possibility is there at the end. Now see, this insert is possible for all these 3 cases. Even if you consider a delete operation, you can also have the similar thing. So you can have a delete operation for C also, for B also, even for A also, right? So basically what we have to learn here, what are the how we can actually delete or insert some node before or in between or at the end of some node all in the already created linked list. So let's start from the insert first. So let's go for the first case, that insert a node at the beginning. Now see, so that means here the linked list was something like this that I have already drawn. Let me draw it in a simple way. Suppose I have only 3 nodes and some addresses is there, some value is there, and this is null. This is pointing to this node. This is pointing to this node. And what is the task here? That insert, you have to insert a node at the beginning. Just like so. That means somehow you have to create an array. That means what are the steps? the first step is that you have to create an array, right? So you have to create a node. And you have to obviously put some value within the node. That's a very trivial thing. Now, after creating, what to do? Some logic is required to find the position, right? And this position is right now is equal to 1 because it is inserted at the beginning. So that means, you see, if you compare these, in the previous slide, what we have seen, if you compare these three different possibilities, I will differentiate this first one with the other twos, in a sense that when you will insert something, or maybe you will delete something, first node of the linked list, that is, say, if you want to insert something at the beginning somewhere here, that means after inserting this and connecting this newly created node with the original linked list, your head should not point to the second node, because we know that head must point to the first node. So if you insert something before the first node, that means that newly created node will be the head, right? But you see, in case of inserting something in middle, if you think that you will insert somewhere in between these two nodes, then it is not going to affect this head. Similarly for end also, if you insert something at the end somewhere over here, then it is not going to change the first node of the linked list. Similarly, if you have a already created linked list, for example, suppose your already created linked list is this one. Forget about this one, other newly created node. If you have a linked list something like this, and you want to delete the first node, that means what will happen? It will be vanished. And whenever it will be vanished, obviously the second node right now what we have will be the first node. So that means head should point to the second node, right? So that means in case of deleting the first node also, your head is changing. But you see, if you delete something from the middle or something from end, say you are deleting this third node in the linked list, or maybe the fourth node in the linked list, then it is not going to affect the head node because it remains same. That remains the first node. So that means in case of inserting or deleting, in both cases, when it is about the first node, we have to have much concern, because your head should act accordingly. If you don't change your head properly, what will happen? Either you will not get the newly created node in the linked list, or some other catastrophic problem may occur. So that's why handling pointer, at least head pointer, in case of inserting or deleting the first one, is going to be very crucial. So that means this part, create a node, you already know. We have already discussed in the previous class. Even today, I'm not going to write the code for you, because the code for creating a node you already know. Rather, what I will do, I will write the logic. I will tell you the logic. And in your home, you can try to code that. So that will enhance your implementation power. So let's see what I should do in case of inserting something in the beginning. So that means we have a linked list something like this, which is right now folded by head. And what my intention is that I have to create a newly created node. So that means maybe the node will be created somewhere here. Okay. And suppose the address of the node is, say, 400. Address of the node is 400. And what is the, way of creating a node? We all know that, say, P equal to, say, struct node pointer, right? Struct node pointer, and then malloc, and then something. So you know that. I'm not going to write everything. So as soon as this particular line will get executed, what will happen? This node will be created and which is halted by P right now. But you see, if you want to connect these two, if you want to connect this node with the already created linked list, at least that means if you want to connect the newly created node with the first node of the linked list, that means it's very easy, right? It's going to be very easy because you have this pointer to point this particular node, and you have a pointer head that points to the already created node, the first node of the linked list. So it's very easy. You will just write P next equal to head. It will be connected, right? The problem is still not resolved. Problem means if you just leave with these two statements, you know what will happen? Ultimately, your head is not changed. So whenever you will call the display function will start displaying from head, obviously, and it will start display from 3, 4, 5. If you have created something and maybe say 1 is there, this value 1 will not get reflected. The reason is that head was not updated. So you must update the head also. And head should be what? Sorry. Yes, head should be what? From this diagram, I can say that head should be 400. The content of head should be 400 so that head can point this node. But you cannot say 400, write 400 over here, because as a programmer, this exact address is not possible to identify by us. So what I can write some variable where I have this address. And currently P is pointing to this node. That means if we consider the content of P and content of head here, so this is P, this is representing head. So currently content of P is 400, it's a pointer, and content of head is 100, and that's why P is pointing the newly created node, and head is pointing to the first node right now, till now. So what I should do? My head should be initialized by 400 so that it can point this one. So how I can do this? I can write 400, but 400 I cannot write directly because this address is not possible to resolve every time from a programmer. But you can write P because P contains 400. So as soon as these statements will get executed, what will happen? This head will no more point to this particular node, rather now head will point this node. Fine. That's very easy. Now see, this is all about, we have discussed about inserting something at the beginning, but it is, it can be somewhere in the middle also. It can be somewhere at the end. So that means the next one, if I consider that insert node in the beginning, sorry, oh, insert node in the middle or maybe end. You see, I will merge the code for both of these two. How we can do this? So you see, that means the situation is now something like, so you had 3 nodes in the previous list, fine. Now it's 4 nodes. So its address was 400, right? The newly created address 400, it's 100, it's 200, it was 300. So address of this one will be obviously 100. Address of this one will be 200, will be 300, and will be null. Maybe one was there, and what are the other value? 3, 4, 5. Fine. 3, 4, 5. And right now, head is successfully pointing the first node. So this is the status. And now you want to insert node in the middle. When you will think for middle, that means what will be the input of this particular function for inserting something in the middle or end? The input will be the position, right? That means, as we have seen in the previous case, we have this set of node, this set of function, and I mean this set of line, if position equal to 1. Now, if I consider position equal to n can be some value that is between, say, 2 to, say, p minus p plus 1. What is p? P is number of node of the existing linked list. So that means here P is actually 4. In this particular diagram, P is 4. I have 4 nodes. So that means in case of inserting something in middle or end, I have given 2 to P minus 1. That means position 2 is valid. Position 2 means in between 1 and 2. Position say 3 means suppose in between 2 and 3. Something like that. So I mean, if I consider a position, say position n, that means after including that node in the new linked list, the position of the newly created node will be n. So if I consider n equal to 2, that means after including the node in the linked list, the position of the node will be 2. That means obviously you have to insert the node in between first and second node. I mean, I have considered the valid positions where I can insert the node as 2 to p plus 1. What is p? P is number of node of the existing linked list. Mean here p equal to 4 in this particular linked list. So position n equal to 2 means what? N equal to 2 means after including that particular newly created node in the linked list, the position of the new node will be 2. That means if I assume n equal to 2, that means I have to insert somewhere over here, so that the newly created node in between this node, something like this. So what will be the position n equal to 2 or 3 or whatever is the user input. Now why I have given maximum value of n as p plus 1? The reason is that if you see, if you want to insert one more node over here, you see in this linked list, after inserting something in second position, you now have 5, right? Somehow you don't have this particular line. Obviously this is pointing to this node and this is pointing to the second node of the current linked list. And ultimately, if I am okay, if my code works fine, then I will have 5 nodes in the linked list. And then maybe I can wish to insert at n equal to p means 4. So right now p become 5. That means say 6. Okay. So what is this? N equal to 6 means what? N equal to 6 means you can insert at 6th position with respect to the newly created linked list after inserting the new node. That means right now I have 5 positions. After inserting successfully the last node at the end, I will have total 6 nodes, and n equal to 6 means the position of the newly created node will be 6. That's okay, that's fine. It is okay. But n equal to 7, right that moment. Instead of writing n equal to 6, if you write n equal to 7, this is not possible. Because you have 5 nodes. Maximum in 6th position. That means after the last node you can insert, but not after that. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that means, let's see what we can do. So that means as a programmer, you don't have any idea what will be the value of n. So for example, take a situation, value of n is something not to, suppose, just a minute. Priyanka, please mute your microphone. Suppose I want to insert somewhere over here in between third and fourth node. I don't have this node also. Okay, I don't have this node also. So this is my existing linked list, and I want to, and in my current situation, P is equal to 4. That is total number of node right now. And the position that I want to insert, that is say equal to 3. No, that is equal to say 4. 4 means after inserting the new node, the position of the new node must be 4. So to do, obviously the new node has to be inserted somewhere over here. The new node has to be inserted somewhere in between third and fourth node of the existing linked list. So that means obviously how to create this new node, it's not a new thing. You can do that. Question is that how you can connect them. To connect the third node with the newly created node and the new node with the fourth node, somehow you must reach to this node. You cannot do it standing over here. Right? So that means somehow I have to change my pointer from the head to some node till with which I want to connect the newly created node. And suppose this is pointed by P. The question is that how you can traverse. You already have idea of the code of the traverse. You can just do it P equals to P next. That we have seen in the last class. But where is P? I must initialize P by head because P is just a variable, a pointer. So if you write P equal to head, that means P is now initially pointing here. And you see the position that I want to insert is n, which is equal to 4. And for that purpose, I have to reach somewhere over here. Somehow this P, the position of P has to change over here. You see how many times I have changed my P? P from the first node to second node means once. From the second node to third node means twice. That's enough. So that means if you want to insert your node in nth position, the P, that is P means the pointer P. Okay, let's make it another pointer name so that you don't get confused. Suppose that the pointer name is T. Okay, suppose the pointer name is T. So T should traverse n minus 2 times. From the statistics, I can say n was 4, that a position of the newly created node, and for that connecting the new node, with the with in between two nodes of the existing linked list, I have seen that I have to change the position of t 2 times. So that means you can say n minus 2 times because n is 4 right now. So that means somehow you have to write a loop that will basically execute n minus 1 2 times and t will change its position. So it's very trivial. You can easily write that while So you can easily write while say I less than equal to n minus 2, that is I is basically start from 1. Okay. So and what I will write basically t equal to t next. That's all. If you write t equal to t next, what will happen? This will basically change the position of the t till the required node where I should want to stand. So after executing this loop, obviously n is equal to 4 right now according to this example. So I started from 1. So 1 lesser than equal to 2. True, t equal to t next. So t is not here. Now t came here. Fine. Then again, okay, sorry, I have to return one more thing, I plus plus. Yes. So I has been incremented by 1, that is 2. 2 lesser equal to 2. Yes, it's true. Again came. So t equal to t next. So that means now t is pointing to the third node and I incremented to 3. 3 lesser than equal to 2 is false and loop will exit. And I am standing wherever I should. And obviously this is pointed by a newly created node, right? Say for example R. R is pointing to the newly created node. So you have say written a statement for malloc for creating your newly created node which is pointed by R. Now what to do? You have to connect this node pointed by T with R and you have to connect this node to the next node of T which is currently in the linked list. Now see, if you want to connect this one with R, it's very easy. You can easily write that T next equal to R. So as soon as you will write T next equal to R, as soon as these statements will get executed, what will happen? The next part of the T will now contain the address present in the R. Say suppose address of this one is say 500. That means T next will be equal to 500 because R is pointing to 500. So it will now become 500. And what will happen? This connection will lost. Rather now it will connect to this node. Fine. This is actually what I wanted. It is okay. But problem is that how you will connect this node? You don't have any trace about this address 300 because this connection has lost. It is not possible to go in this particular node from the current created node. That means writing T next equal to R will be a foolish job before you connect this newly created node with the last node. That means you should not write T next equal to R at the beginning. Rather, you must initialize somehow R next equal to something. Something means what? Something is nothing but address of this one, that is 300. But how I will get 300? I don't have any pointer that is pointing here. So that means I must need a pointer, right? So if I write little bit clearly, so that means what I can write, I can take one more pointer T1. If I write in a very simple way, T1 can be written as T next. Fine. So that means now this is pointed by T1. And then you can write R next equal to T1. So that means this connection has established perfectly. You see, till now, I forgot to delete here. This connection is not established till now, at least according to the first two lines. I have written T1 equal to T next. That means this newly pointer was created pointing to this node. Then R next equal to T1. That means this connection was established. And suppose there is some data, say 6. Okay. R next equal to T1. But this one left. So now you see, you can easily write T next equal to R. So this connection will be terminated, and this will get updated by 500. So now this is pointing to this node. Now you see, although this connection terminated, since connection is properly established between the third node of the previous linked list with the newly created node and newly created node to the last node, that means now it is okay. We have a linear path. You can start from head, and you can easily reach to the last one, because from here to the second one, second to third, third to newly created node, and newly created node to the last. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now see, whatever we have discussed here is till now is about the middle, right? Is about the middle. But I have said that I will write the same code for middle and end. You see, it's surprisingly, the code works for if you want to insert at the end also. For example, let's take a similar scenario. For example, suppose I want to add one more node over here. Okay, I want to point one more node. I want to here. So that is say right now, say some value, suppose 7. Okay, and obviously now this is not pointed by. This is pointed by R. Right. Newly created node is pointed by R. Fine. And the status of the link is it has changed a little bit. For example, the next part of this has changed. This connection has has gone, and I don't have this pointer right now, because ultimately I must have only head in my hand. So these pointers were temporary. That was not of any use, special use. So that means, you see, the address of this next part, the next part contain address of this newly created node in previous situation. So that means 500. And address part contained in this node will be obviously 300, so that it can point this node. So this is the scenario. And you see, right now, P become 5, right? Total I have 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. This has been included. And suppose I want to insert at the end. So at the end mean, I can insert at 6th position, maximum P plus 1. That is 6th position. So that means the T, according to my logic written over here, now n minus 2 means actually 4. 6 minus 2. That means this loop will execute 4 times. That means T will change its position 4 times. And where T started from this place, obviously. T started always from this place. So for the first time, T will change its position from here to here. First one. Then for the second one, T will change its position from here to here. Fine. For the third one, T will change its position from here to here. Now for the fourth one, T will change its position from here to here. Right? It's okay. That means forget about these are vanished. T is no more pointing to this other nodes. T is basically pointing to the last node. Basically, the node after which I want to insert. So that is correct. Fine. Now see, after doing this, what will happen? This set of code will execute. And what is written? T1 equal to T dot next. T arrow next. What is T arrow next right now? T arrow next is right now null. Right. So that means T1 will be equal to null. Fine. And now see, I have written R next equal to T1. What is R? R is pointing to the first, newly created node. So R next equal to T1. That means the next part of R will be equal to null. Yes, it should be because it is going to be the last node. Then I have written T next equal to R. So what is T? T is this one. And now T next will be equal to R. R is pointing to this node. And suppose address of this one is 600. So that means this null will be replaced by 600. And this node can now point to this last node. Right. Now see, if I'm trying to insert the node at the end, then also with the same set of code, I'm doing the same thing. So that means if you use this approach, it will be easier to insert a node at the middle or at the end anytime. Not a problem. But you must check the criteria whether the position must be at least at most p plus 1. So that means, first you will take input n, right, the position where you want to insert, and you have to check that whether n is lesser than equal to p plus 1 and greater than equal to 2. Actually, I should write greater than equal to 2 first. You can write if n is greater than equal to 2 and lesser than equal to p plus 1, then only you can write the code that we have discussed over here. First this set of code and then it is followed by this. That you can write over here. But if it is not true, that means insertion not possible. So we can just write not possible. Insertion not possible. If you think that you will use some different logic for inserting at the end, that means you have to write something like this, that if n is equal to 1, then some logic 1. Else if n is greater than equal to 2 and lesser than p plus 1, okay, then some logic 2. Else means if it is at the end, then logic 3. But what I have done, I have written if n is equal to 1, then logic 1, else logic 2. That's all. I have merged these two parts according to my program, my logic. You don't need to think about whether it is middle or end. If it is not the first one, then the logic is common for middle or the end. So my program complexity will decrease comparing your. Got my point, what I am saying?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Got
sir.
it.
That is the difference. You can think in your own way also. There is no harm. But when someone will ask you, write a very simple and efficient code, at that time your code will fail. Because your code is not as much as simple or efficient like this one. Because here I have condition 1, condition 2, condition 3. There are 3 cases. But here I have 2 cases only. Got my point?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So these are the actually, you can say that this is the difference. This is the difference. But you may, nobody can say that this particular approach is wrong. No approach is wrong. If you, when you will solve a problem, nobody say that if you start this approach, then it is wrong. If you go for that approach, it is correct. All approaches, there are multiple approaches which are correct. But among all the correct approaches, which are the best one? That is important. Not only correct one, but the best one. So, so that means what we have seen. Let's formally write the logic. I mean, I'm not going to write the code. Just write the basic steps. Obviously, if we have a function for inserting, so if I consider that there is a function insert, in the insert function, when this insert function will be called from the main, what we can do, we can say we have to pass the head, right? We have to pass the head. So what we can do, we can consider, say, node pointer, say P, or say head, node pointer head. Okay, and this insert must be node pointer. The reason is that when you are inserting something in the in a linked list, there is no guarantee that head will not change. Head will change if it is first position, right? But as a programmer, you don't have any idea that whether this insert function will change the head or not. That's why you have to consider node pointer, because if there is a change, then it will work. If you write void, then the change that you are having will not reflect in the original situation, original linked list. Anyway, so within this node, what we will do first, we will take input. So we will take input position to insert, and suppose this is code scanned in this variable n, and then what we will do, we will basically check that if n is lesser than 2 or n is greater than p plus 1, because we have seen that the range should be 2 to p plus 1. So if it is below 2 or above p plus 1, then some wrong position I have given in it, right? So that means obviously not possible. Somehow we have to print not possible. I mean, if you come in else part, that means there is a possibility the positions are actually at least correct, so you can proceed. Now in this else part means you can insert in the linked list, but insert has 2 different cases, right? One is at the beginning and one is either middle or end. So that means here we must have 2 more category. Like you have to check if n is I'm sorry, I should not write n lesser than 2. I should write n lesser than 1. N can be 1 also, first position, right? Okay. So if n is equal to 1, so if your control will come within this else part, means sure that the position is at least 1 and at most n p plus 1. So if it is n minus 1, then what you do? Basically, this set of code you will write here. And if it is not the first position, that means either middle or the end. So that means the set of code that I have written here, that set of code you will just write here. As simple as that. And ultimately at the end here, you must have a return statement. Return what? Return head, obviously. Because there is a possibility to change this head if it is at the beginning. But obviously, if it is at the middle or end, your head is not changed. But you cannot, you cannot write two different return statements in a single function. That's why always it will return the head. If it is changed, then the change node. If it is not changed, then the previous one. Ultimately, it will return the head to the main function from where the insert function was called. We can proceed for division operation also. So if we go for now the division operation, similar thing that the third one, that is delete from the first position. What does it mean? Mean that you have a linked list something like this. Okay, so let's see. We have 4 nodes in the linked list, or maybe 5 nodes. And it addresses 100, 200, 300. These are address of the nodes. Okay, and 500. So last obviously null, and at next part of the first node must contain 200 so that it can point to the second node. Next part of the second node must be 300 so that it can point to the third node. Similarly, it should be 400, next part of this, so that it can point to fourth one. And this one will be 500 so that it can point the last one. And suppose some value is there, 2, 3, 4, 9. Now see, and this is obviously pointed by head, that is true. So this is my situation. And suppose there is a function for delete, I have the user has called, and the position in is right now equal to 1. Here we have considered in position. So suppose it is 1. So that means actually what I want to delete this node, the first node. Now if I delete the first node, obviously right now what is second will be the first one in the rest of the linked list. And that means how you can reflect this, how we can express this, it will become the first one. You can just change your head from this node to this node. Fine. So that means if you just write that head equal to head next, your job is done, because this will no more point this node. Now this node will point to this node. So since you don't have any way to come back from the second node to the first node, that means although this node is already in the memory, but still there is no way to return back. So whenever you will display the linked list, your display will start from 2, because your head is pointing to this node. But problem is that we are using dynamic memory allocation. The reason of using dynamic memory allocation is we can create at any point of time if I require. Even we can delete at any point of time if I require. So if I'm not able to delete this node, then there is no use of dynamic node edge. So that's why somehow we have to delete this also. There is a function, I told you, free. Free something you have to write. This free function actually used to free a memory location that was created dynamically. So if you write free p, it means the memory location which is pointer p will be just freed up. So that means the parameter that a free function takes is a pointer to something. It may be a pointer to integer, maybe pointer to a structure, it may be anything. So right now here I want to free this particular node, and this node is a structure, right? So that means I have to write free some pointer which is pointing to this node. But problem is that I have already changed my head. So there is no way to go back to this node. Nobody is pointing this node. So you will never able to free it. So that means if you want to apply this free, you cannot write head equal to head text at the beginning. What you can do? You can copy the content of head in some another variable, suppose say t. So you can write t equal to head. So t equal to head means this is now pointed by t also. And head was there, obviously. The head is not yet vanished. I'm sorry. And then if you apply head equal to head next, then you can say that okay, this head is no more now pointing to this node, rather now basically head is pointing to the second node. Fine. But I have still pointing this node by t. The reason is that I want to use this function. So I will just write free t. As soon as this statement will get executed, what will happen? The entire memory location that we had over here will vanish. And if there is no memory location, then why pointer? Where is pointer? So entire thing will vanish. So that means initially content of t, if you consider content of t, it was 100 because 100 was the address of the first node. As soon as this 100 address gets vanished, now content of t will become null. T is not pointing to anywhere. T is pointing to something. It's not basically pointing to anywhere. So that means these are the set of instructions that I can use to delete a node from the first position of a already created linked list. So similarly, similarly, as we have seen in case of insert function, we have a possibility to insert node in the middle or end with the same set of code. We can do over here the same thing also. I mean, the fourth one that we will discuss today, that is delete a node from the middle or end. So let's see. So after deleting the linked list is something like this. So let's draw it here again. So we will work on the same linked list. So that means 4 nodes left. Obviously, they are pointing to each other. I mean, this address of the first node is now 200. It's not 100. So 200, then 300, then 400, and then 500. So this is 300, this is 400, this is 500. It should be null. And what are the criteria? 2, 3, 4, 9. So 2, 3, 4, 9. And right now, this is pointed by head. That is a thing. So this is a situation. After inserting, delete the first node, this is the situation. And now I want to delete something from a loop. For example, I want to delete this particular node, the third node. So that means at the time of deleting, the n will be equal to 3. Right, the third position. Now see, if I want to delete this third node, okay. So if I assume that I have a successful deletion operation of this third node, that means I can say that if this node doesn't exist, that means somehow this node is pointing to this last node that I have to do. And at that time, the next part of this second node must contain address of the last node, that is 500, right? So that means to bypass this connection, somehow I have to reach till this second node, right? Till this second node. Then I can apply something. So how I can reach? Obviously, I need one more pointer here, as we have seen in the previous case, that is T, this T, right? So here also I need a temporary pointer T, which will traverse till the position up to which we want to stop. And what is the position over here? Position is that if you want to delete the third node, somehow you have to reach till the second node, that is n minus 1th node. Right. What is the value of n doesn't matter. It may be n can be 3, n can be 30. At least n minus 1th node means the just node, the deleted node, the node before you want to, before the node that you want to delete. So now you don't know what is the value of n. It can be 2, it can be 5, it can be 50 also. That means obviously you need a loop. And you see, if we use the similar type of loop, what we have used over here, this one, we can serve our task. Because I have to reach over here, value of n is 3. You see how many times I have to traverse? In this situation at least I can say, if value of n equal to 3, I have to traverse once. T is right now here. After traverse once, T will come here, and I should stop T right that moment, because I need to connect this node with the next node of the node that I want to delete. So that means here also, basically, you have to traverse the T n minus 2 times, as we have seen in previous case, n minus 2 times, right? So that means this code is basically going to same over here also. So that means I can simply write that T equal to head. Obviously, I have to initialize T by the first, the pointer of the first node. Then I will initialize I by 1, and then I will just write a loop. While I lesser than equal to n minus 2, just continue T equal to T next. So here the linked list is not very long. That's why maybe the loop is not executing much. Here I have taken n equal to 3. That's why the loop is executing n minus 2. That means only once. And that's why after executing only once, what will happen? This t will vanish from here. And it will basically point to this node. Only once it has traversed. Fine. And yes, I want to stop t over here, because I want to access this next node, next part. Because in this next part of t, it should contain this 500. So after stopping this loop, one thing we are sure, wherever I am standing right now, the next node of that has to be deleted, right? And if the next node of this has to be deleted, then I have to connect the previous node with the next node of the node that I want to delete. So that means, if you want to, there's something that I'm actually saying, I mean, you must connect this third node with the last node, and if you want to do this, somehow you have to insert 500, so you must insert t next equal to 500. But how you will get 500? It's not possible to find out the address. So that means some pointer I require. Some pointer I require. So if I assume that somehow T2 contains 500, then you can say your job is done. But how T2 will contain 500? You cannot write that T2 will be equal to 500. We cannot work with address. But you know what you can write? Somehow you have to initialize T2 by some, say, another pointer T3, and you can write T3 as T next. What is T? T is this one. So T next means 400. So that means T3 will become 400. I'm sorry. T3 will be equal to T next. So 400. And T2 will be T3 next. Yes. What I have written? T3 equal to T next means content of T was, let's see, content of T, content of T2, and content of T3. Let's discuss in this way. I think then it will be much more clear. So right now T is pointing this node, that means content of T is 300. And there is nothing in T2 and T3. So when this statement execute, T3 equal to T next means 400. So T3 now will contain 400. That means now T3 is pointing this node. Fine. Now when T2 is equal to T3 next, what does it mean? What is T3? T3 is pointing this one. Next means this address. So that means now T2 contains 500. So that means T2 is pointing this node. And this is I wanted, because I want to connect T next with T2. Now if this code execute, this connection will be established. Right. So as soon as this connection will get established, what will happen? This connection will be lost. Obviously, at a time it's not possible to, it can point 2 nodes at a time. Right now at least, with respect to the current architecture. That is done. So you see, if you start journey from the first node, you can go here, and after visiting 3, you can directly go to 9. This 4 is bypassed because the connection of 4 has been lost. You will never able to see this node. Now you can easily write, free T3, because T3 is pointing this node and this will vanish. So this particular node will vanish. And if the node is vanished, then what about the pointer and what about that? Nothing will. It's done. So now see, we can rewrite this set of lines in much more smarter way. Let's rewrite it. So, okay, do one thing. Instead of writing so many lines, you can actually write few lines over here. For example, writing this T3 equal to T next, then T2 equal to T3 next, you can directly write, you can merge these two lines, as T2 equal to T next. This T next is representing T3. So T3 next. So as a whole, in a single way, you can write T2 equal to T next. Because previously I had a pointer over here, right? So according to that, you can write T2 equal to T next. So as soon as you have this one, so that means these two lines can be written in a single line. And then you can apply this logic and then free. So it's done. So now if I go for the end part, I mean if I want to delete something from the end, that means the situation is I have only 3 nodes here. Okay, I have only 3 nodes here, and I want to delete the third node. Okay, so right now, the situation is something like I have 3 nodes left in the linked list. What are the addresses? 200, 300 and 500. Fine. 200, 300 and 500. And we have this 300 and 400. Sorry, it's 500 obviously. So some value are there, 2, 3 and 9. Okay, 2, 3 and 9. And obviously this is null. And this is pointed by head. So this is the scenario. You don't need to think about the temporary pointers. So now you want to delete the last node. So in this situation, the total number of nodes, that is P, is no, not P. We consider total number of nodes by what? By P. Yes, P. P was the total number of nodes. P was actually here 3, right? And the position that you want to delete is also 3, right? Now see, that means if you want to delete this node, somehow this node will be the last one. After deleting this last node, the second node basically will be the last one, right? So somehow you have to reach to the second node. That means you need a pointer that will point the second node, and you will just write the pointer next equal to null. If you write that, I mean, that means suppose that I'm able to reach this second node. So I have a pointer, say T, that is pointing over here. And if I write T next equal to null, it means this 500 will get replaced by null. And that means its connection will vanish. So only 2 nodes left. You will never able to reach to this last node, and there then you can try to free the last node. So how we can do that? You see, that we have seen in case of insert that middle and end have the same logic. Here also you will see the middle and end have the same logic for delete operation. So in the previous case we have seen that we will write this statement first, then these two statements, which is sufficient. And before that, obviously, I have to write this statement so that I can reach to the correct location first. So if you apply this set of code over in this case also, you will see again I need to reach till here, n is 3. So basically I equal to 1, n is 3, 3 minus 2, that is 1. So 1 lesser than or equal to 1 true, t will be incremented by 1, t will be actually traversed 1. T was initially, head, right? T was initially here. T was initially head, pointing to head. Once the loop will execute, now t is not pointing over here, rather t will point to the second node. And you see your loop will break because I have written I lesser than or equal to n minus 2. N is 3. According to current situation, n is equal to 3. So I want the loop 1 lesser than or equal to 1 will be executed once and it's done. So after breaking this loop, your temporary pointer t is standing somewhere over here. So forget about this null and delete part. We will see it soon. Okay, and obviously this t is no more pointing here. So now see what I have told you. I have claimed that the same set of code will work. So let's write it and then I will check. So if I write the same set of code, I'm not going to write this loop again. You can understand, I think. So I will write this part once more. So let's write t2 equal to what I've written, t next. So t next. Fine. And then I have written t next equal to t2. So I have written t next equal to t2. And then I have written free t3. Oh, free t3 will not be there in that case, right? Free t3 will not be there. Some other pointer I require before I do that. Okay, for example, when you had this pointer, this t2 means this one. Okay, so you need one more pointer here. This is required. This is actually required. This is required because if you don't use this statement, t3 will no more point this node, and at that time you will not able to free their node. So that means t3 equal to t next should be there. By the way, don't confuse with this statement. I was written this one earlier. I'm not going to use this statement right now. So t3 equal to t next should be there. So t3 equal to t next means what? t3 equal to t next means t3 is now pointing here, right? And then I have a free statement over here, right? Free t3. So if I execute this statement, first one, t3 is pointing to the last node. Fine. When this statement will execute, what does it mean? T next. What is t? T this one. T next means this one. Its next means null. T next means what? T next means this node. 500. 500 next means what? This null. So that means after executing this second line, if I keep on tracking what will be the content of different temporary variables, the content of T3 will become T next. That means 300. Fine. That's why not 500, 300. 500. Not 300, 500. So it will be 500, fine. And T2 will be what? T2 is T next, that is this node. If this node's next, that means null, so T2 become null. And what is T? T is basically 300, right? Because T was pointing this node. Now, after executing T next equal to T2, that means 300 next equal to T2. What is T2? T2 is null. So automatically this 500 will get replaced by null. So this 500 will vanish from here, and this null will be stored here. As soon as null will get stored, this connection vanishes. Now if free T3 executes, so that means this entire memory location will vanish. So that means entire memory address vanishes because of this free statement. And you see, the second node that was in previous case, what we have second node, become the last one, because now I have successfully kept null at the end. You see, I have used same set of statements as we have done here. So if you write the statements here, these are same that is written over here. But both are doing, I mean one, both are actually, doing, deleting the data either from middle or from end. So that means in the case of delete function also, if I consider to write a delete function, say, obviously here also I must write node pointer. The reason is that if the first node is deleted, then your head will change. So as a programmer, it's not possible to predict that every time your node will, your head pointer will remain same or not. That's why keep it safe. Just I'm considering there is a possibility that the delete function may change the head. So that's why I've written node pointer, say written delete, del linked list, del underscore ll. Within bracket, obviously you have to pass the head pointer. That is the only key that you have in your hand. So node pointer head, right? And here also the first thing that take input in as a position. To delete, right? And this n can be anything from 1 to p plus 1 to p. In case of delete, if you have a linked list something like this, you can delete the first position or second or third or fourth, but not fifth. So that means in case of delete operation, the range of n will be 1 to the maximum value, that is p, right? So if I assume this maximum value is known, okay, so that means you can check that if n is lesser than 1 or n is greater than p is the maximum number, the total number of node you have in the linked list, then what to do? You will just, it's not possible. Deletion not possible. But if it is true, if the n value of n is between 1 and p, then you can have two options, that we have seen in case of insert operation. That if n is equal to 1, then basically what to do? You will use this set of statement. Else, if n is equal to maybe more than 1, So what to do? You will use basically this set of statements, because we have already seen that in case of middle or it doesn't matter, the statement is common. So basically, if I write this one, you will use this set of statement. And at the end again, over here, you must return the head. Because there is a possibility that your head may change because of this particular line. Okay. Now, we actually have different type of operation on this linked list. For example, anything, you can, if you want to implement something from linked list, you can find lot of problems. For example, say searching some data in a linked list. For example, suppose that I want to print not all the data of a linked list. I want to print depends on some threshold. For example, the linked list node contains some integer values, ranges from say 1 to 100. Okay, and you want to print only those nodes which contain value more than 550. Right. So at that time, the display function has to be changed a little bit. So there is a condition that if the P data, if the P data, P means P is a temporary variable, and if I consider that is pointing to the node, if the T data is greater than 50, then you will print. If it is not, then you will not. And it will go on till last. You will use this T till last to traverse the linked list. Are you understanding what I am saying?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So there are some interesting problems we have in this linked list. For example, the interesting problem include, let's write some interesting problems. So let's write some interesting problems. One is reverse of a linked list. Two can be say, just a minute, let me find something. Two can be as we have discussed that display some data of a linked list. Depends on some condition. So we will start with this one. Okay. So how to reverse a linked list? What does it mean? So reversing linked list means so you have a linked list something like this. Suppose let's draw quickly. I am taking many nodes because if you don't have many nodes, it will be pretty difficult to realize how it will work. So suppose this is the situation, and obviously at 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, so 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, and this is null, right? So some data is there, say 10, 2, 3, 12, 9, 6. Okay. So this is your input. This is your input linked list. And your output linked list will be something like this. Let's draw it, then you can understand. You see, it will be something like, for example, 600, 500, 400, 300, 200, 100. Five hundred, 400, 300, 200, and it is null. It is 6, 9, 12, 3, 2, 10. Now see, reverse means here the total architecture of the linked list has reversed. It's not like something like I'm printing the node of the linked list in reverse way. It is input and this is output, and you see it has been totally reversed. Whatever the first node, in this previous case, in the input it was head and it was at the end, but in case of output the last one become head and the first one become the last one. So the total architecture of the linked list has changed. That is what reverse is. So how to do this? It's not going to be very easy. The reason is that we have only one way to go from one node to another node. If somehow one connection is lost, then the entire linked list will get lost. So you have to use this pointers very easily, very carefully. So let's start. You see, we have this head fine, but I will not change this head because somehow head is the only thing by which at least you can traverse the input linked list. So now, but problem is that here your head will change. Initially head was pointing to a node having 100 address, and in the output head will point to a node of 600 address. So your head will change. So that means if I consider that T1, okay, T1 is a temporary pointer, struct node pointer, obviously, which is equal to head. Okay, fine. I've kept it as T1 also. Problem is that what to do? You see, if you compare the address of node of 100 address and node of 200 address somewhere over here in this side, you see, initially here, next of 100 was 200. But in this output linked list, next of 200 will become 100. Right? So that means next of 200 was currently pointing to this node. That means if somehow you write, for example, let's take T1 equal to head, and maybe you have taken T2 equal to T1 next. You can take it, consider it. That means T2 is pointing here. T1 is pointing here, T2 is pointing here. Now if you write T2 next will be equal to T1, then what will happen? This 300 will get replaced by T1, that is 100. So it will become replaced by 100. And this will point to this node. But what problem will occur? This connection vanishes. That means entire thing, the entire linked list vanished. All the data lost, which is not expected. So that means you cannot do it blindly. When you are doing it, somehow you must have a pointer that will point this node. That means before writing T2 next equal to T1, you must introduce one more pointer over here, T3, which will be equal to T2 next. So if you use this if you use this particular line, that means T3 is pointing this node. Now if the connection vanishes, doesn't matter. You have a pointer that can hold this node and you can continue. Right. So now you see next time. So ultimately what I have done, let's write it in a more clear way. Let's erase it for a moment. That I have written that T1 equal to head, fine. Then T2 will be equal to, no, not T2, T3, no, yes, T2 must be there. Yes, you can write T3 also, just a minute. Can write T3 equal to T1 next. You can use this. Already you are habituated with this particular statement. You have seen this. And T2 equal to T1 next. So this is the scenario. So that means these are the initializations of the pointers. Fine. So that means we have initialized the pointers. Right now connection is not lost. We have just initialized the pointers T1, T2 and T3 properly. So T1 is pointing the first node, T2 is pointing second node, T3 is pointing last node, third node. And ultimately my structure between at least first two will be something like this. So as soon as we will write, say, T2 next will be equal to T1. It will be something like this fashion. Because T1 was pointing node of 100. So this one is node of 100. and T2 was pointing node of 200, so this one is 200, and I have written T2 next equal to T, so next part of T2 must contain address of that is pointed by T1, and that is happening because next part of T2 is having this address which is pointed by T1 right now. T1 is pointing at 100. Is this clear? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So that means as soon as this particular line will execute, this connection will vanish. Obviously, because now this 300 contain this address 100. Fine. But it is not going to be a problem. The reason is that I have holded this node in T3. Because next time, after connecting second node after the first node, second node with the first node, I must connect third node with the second node in the same way. But to do this, what to do? You cannot write infinite number of pointers. Actually, I need a loop. In the loop, somehow, I will execute this set of statements which will go on connecting with previous nodes and keep on holding the other nodes of the linked list. Like here T3 is holding, before the connection vanishes, T3 is holding the other node of the linked list. So if I consider the same set of statements for connecting T2 behind T3, this node which is currently pointed by T3 must be pointed by T2, and this node which is currently pointed by T2 must be pointed by T1, and at the same time the new node, the fourth node, must be pointed by T3. So that means you can say that T3 can traverse once, T3 equal to T3 next. Fine. So now T3 is not pointing here, T3 is pointing here. Fine. And it should be T2. So let's redefine T2 by T3. And this one should be T1. So let's define T1 as T2. Fine. I've done this. So what will happen? That means now this is pointed by T2 and this is pointed by T1. T1 is not pointing here. That is sure, right? This is pointed by now T2 and this is pointed by T1. Now if you connect the same statement, T2 next equal to T1, what will happen? This connection will be now vanish, and this 400 will get replaced by T1, that is 200, and it will connect this one, something like this. And if it vanishes, then still it is not going to be a problem, because the other part of the data structure safe, because you have the address of the first node in the T3. Right. So what actually is reflected with respect to the output linked list? It's reflected, you see, this 3 is now connected with 2. Same thing. So that means somehow what I can see, that these 4 statements are executing, in a loop, because next time again this node will become T2, the next node will become T3, whatever is T1, T2 is right now will become T1, and this node will be connected with this node, previous nodes, and in this way it will go on. Right. Now question is that when it will stop. What will be the stopping criteria? Let's see. If I execute this set of code again, so what will happen? This T3 that was currently pointed will become T2. This T1 will vanish. T1 is not pointing here. T1 will now point here. And so due to this line, T3 equal to T3 next. After connecting this third node with the second one, with respect to the input linked list, this T3 equal to T3 next will execute. So now T3 will come here because T3 was previously here. So T3 will traverse to here, and then T2 equal to T3. So now this will become T2. Oh, I have a mistake. I'm sorry. Mistake is that when you are writing T2 equal to T3 and then you are writing T1 equal to T2, basically you are, you can combine T1 equal to T3. So T1 cannot be T3. T1, that means I have a mistake. Mistake in the sense, I first write T1 equal to T2, then T2 equal to T3, then I can traverse my this part. So that means the statements will be little bit opposite one. I mean, I must have T2 next equal to T. That is true. T1, T2 next equal to T1. But after that, I must write T1 equal to T2. So I have changed this T1 first with the current T2. Then I will change the T2 with the current T3. And then only I can change the T3 as T3 next. If you do T3 equal to T3 next first, then the change of T3 will reflect in T2, the same will reflect in T1. So ultimately what will happen due to this set of lines, all T1, T2, T3 will point to the same node, which is not expected. So I had a mistake, I'm sorry for that. Anyway, so forget about this particular set of statements. I have already written the correct set of statements here. Now see, anyway, so after traversing over here, if situation is something like this, so now T2 is here. So after T2 next null, after executing these three statements, the situation becomes something like this. And then what will happen? Again T2 next equal to T1 will execute. So these are in a loop. That means this set of statements in a loop. So if T2 next T1 execute, that means this next part will contain address of this 300. So you see over here, address contains 300. That we can see. In the output linked list, according to the output linked list, this is what it should be. So I'm still correct. At least from this debugging or from this dry run of the code that I have written, what I can see still I am correct. So that means again this connection will vanish and this will connect with the previous one. That happened over here, something like this, right? But that is not a problem because already I have holded this one in T3. Fine. So again, after connecting these two, T1 will become T2. So now T1 is no more pointing over here. T1 will basically point to this node because it is currently T2. Then T2 equal to T3. That means T2 will no more point this node. T2 will point this node. And T3 will become T3 next. So T3 will come here. Right. So that means current situation, forget about the previous T2 arrows. So current situation of T1, T2, T3 is something like this. And again you see this T2 next equal to T1 will get executed. And what will happen? This connection will be vanished and it will connect the previous node. T2 next equal to T1. That happened over here. You see 500 next equal to 400. This node. So this is node and this is node. And they become just reverse. Right. So it was, after this node and in this output link list, this node become after this node. Just opposite one. Right. So anyway, so after connecting this one, you see, so after connecting this one, again you see, we will have a change over here. So that means now T1 will no more point this node, T1 will point this node. Fine. Using this T2 equal to T3, T2 will no more point this node, T2 will point this node. And where T3 will point, T3 equal to T3 next. So basically T3 is pointing somewhere here, which is basically null. Right. So the current position of T1, T2, T3 is something like this. Current position of T2, T3 something like this. And now still I have something, this last one to connect. The last one to connect. And obviously T2 next equal to T1 will execute, right? So at that time what will happen? This one next will connect with the previous one. Fine. And then what will happen? Again these three statements will execute. Right. So that means T1 will now come here and T2 will come here and T3 will come to another null. Now you see, I have already reversed all. Now I can stop. Now I can stop. So in the loop, what will be the criteria? The criteria will be something like when I will find T2 has reached to null, it's sure that everything has completed. So you can say while T2 not equal to null, you can continue this statement. So this is a part of initialization that is required, obviously. And this is the set of statements you must in a loop that will basically reverse the thing. And then if you display the linked list, I hope it will work. I'm sure it will work. Okay. Okay. So anyway, but still one thing is left over here. One thing is left means we have done this one, everything is fine, but head is not initialized till now. Head is still pointing to this node. That means basically head is pointing to this node. With respect to the newly created linked list, head is pointing somewhere here, but head should point to this node. Right? Because ultimately after reversing them, it becomes the first one. The last one that we have in the input linked list become the first one. Right? So that means after completion of this loop, you must write head equal to something. What you should write? You see, head is basically pointing to the node, which is basically 600, right? And 600 is pointed by what? T1. We have seen that. So that means you can write head equal to T1. Then only now head will point this node. It will not no more point this last node. And one more thing is left. That is the keeping null in the last node. Because till now you didn't have null over here. You know, I have connected this node with this one, fine. But I have not connected this node with null. Right? So that means before you start connecting this, before this loop starts, you must write at the end of this initialization that T1 T1 that is currently pointing to the head before this loop starts, T1 next should be equal to null. If you write T1 next should be equal to happen, this become null. So now that means it is okay. If you don't have proper null, not only pointer is important, but keeping null in proper place is also important, because that is the only criteria depends on which you traverse. If you don't put null in the next part of the last node of the linked list, then it will be pretty difficult to stop the display function. Because we have seen that in case of display something, we write that while t not equal to null. If you don't have any null, then it will never able to reach null, so you will be in an infinite loop. Your program will fail to display the content of the linked list. Okay. So these two statements are also vital, and this is actually somewhere here. You should write somewhere here, and this statement you should write before. So after writing these statements, the program go here, something like this. Is this okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So we have seen some various type of operation in the singly linked list. In the next day, if this idea is clear to you, then I hope you will have a strong base on linked list, at least in singly linked list. But in the next day, we will see two more different linked lists, that is doubly linked list and circular linked list. But the basic logic of the doubly or circular linked list is same as single linked list. In case of doubly linked list, there is some extra pointers that require that we will see tomorrow. So please, it is my suggestion that you read this linked list and try to write all the programs that we are discussing over here within this week, so that we can we can easily understand the doubly linked list in the next week. Okay. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So we can stop over here for today. Just try to understand the problem, try to implement the logic that we have discussed. If you feel any doubt, or if you have any doubt or trouble regarding at the time of implementing, you can contact me. Okay.